Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Dadsigner podcast. I am Michael Smith, your host, and today I'm joined by Tyshaun Taylor. Hey, Tyshaun, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I think we got connected through Threads, which has been a great conduit for me to find other Dadsigners. And then I popped over to Instagram and saw all your work, and wanted to have you on. So thanks for
Appreciate
joining
it.
us.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm curious. Can you tell folks a little bit about where you're from, what you do, and a bit about your family?
All right. So I'm from Connecticut. I born and raised. I recently just moved to Texas, close to the Houston area. And I've been designing for about I want to say 12, 13 years now. And I'm a dad of three, uh, almost 14 years of marriage. Well, 13, well, no, 13 this year. I'm telling my wife. Um, and, honestly, man, it's a journey. It's fun. I think it's pretty cool to be able to, just be a dad and be a designer, right? So it's like a double edge. 'Cause it's like I think graphic design is like a dream career if you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how other people take it, but me personally, I look at it as a dream career. You get to get paid to create things, so, to be able to have children and see you following your path, because it's not easy. It's a lot of resistance, as a graphic designer. So to see them, enjoying watching you and being a part of that is super cool. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. You mentioned you're from Connecticut, and I saw on your Instagram, maybe I might agree with you on this, maybe one of the best logos ever created. Uh Hartford Whalers.
That is my
That was
that's my team, man. That's my
yeah,
team. Never watched them play, but I love that logo.
yeah. And that did that influence you like wanting to become an artist yourself?
Honestly, what stemmed from just the love of it is just seeing everyone wearing it even after the team left, and just seeing how much of an impact that they had. I think that was the only major league team in any sport that we've ever had. So, to have them and then lose them, and to be able to keep that culture afterwards was like, damn, that's powerful. So
Yeah. It's such a very few logos, especially in sports, are like that just good for a very long time. Like forever they will be good because the core structure of it. I think of them and I think of, and some people hate it, but I think of the Milwaukee Brewers MB like glove logo. Those two logos, as far as sports are concerned, are the two that stand out to me as like, yeah, this was brilliant.
yeah, some things just don't ever need to be changed, and that's one of those logos for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. But outside of that, you're a designer. You do a lot of different things, but two or three of the things I want to kind of talk about. You have a really interesting model around sketching, design sketching, brand sketching. So I love to talk about that and how you structure it as much as you're willing to share. And then you also said that you have done wraps like for caskets. So a lot of people have done van wraps, which you also do, but you've wrapped caskets. And so I want to talk about those two things. But yeah, tell tell folks a little bit about your brand sketch process because I think it's really, really interesting and unique.
So that's something I recently came about, right? So like I'm looking online and I'm just trying to find that thing that makes me unique, right? As a designer, I could easily show all my lockups. I could easily show everything. So I've just been playing around with it. Like, hey, most of the time my ideas are on paper first. So it's just like, why don't I just lead there? Why don't I just find a way to start leading and starting my conversation and building my authority around that, and just deciding to say, hey, you know what? just the messy part is the fun part, and it's most people don't show it or, they don't share it. And I want to start getting more in depth with it. Like right now I'm just kind of playing with it. Like it's like I'm just doing it to see what kind of reaction I get. And, if I get a good enough reaction, I'll continue to keep building on it or I'll just build on it, whatever. Um, but like that's the whole process. And my goal now is to try to take people from like the mood board part. So I hate mood boarding because it's like pulling teeth to get people to kind of sit with you and go through the mood boarding process. So I'm trying to find a way to get rid of that, even though I know how important that stuff is. Like I have to know kind of where someone's head is. But if I can just sketch a bunch of ideas that I think would work for their brand and kind of get them on my page, it's become a little easier. And then their brain starts to think because now they're seeing their brand in a sketch where they're just like, I didn't think you could do that. Like I just finished working with well, I'm still working with them. I'm working with a coffee house and they're into music and I was able to make a mug and make it like a drum and then put drumsticks inside the coffee. You know what I mean? So it's just like being able to come up with those things on the fly and then being able to just share them and say, "Hey, how do you like this?" Just book a session, just get a quick sketch, and then we can go from there. I like it, and I only started liking it because I hate the mood boarding process. Like it's so hard to get someone to sit down and like if I spend the most time sending an email, it's probably, "Hey, did you start looking at this? Did you look at this?" And it's just like, how can I get rid of it completely? So I think
Yeah.
that's my approach on it.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting is I saw some of the sketches, and, like, when I think of a sketch, I think of a thumbnail, like, real messy. I was looking at some of your sketches, I'm like, "Man, these things are intricate, they're detailed, they're well done, they've
Mhm.
got a lot of fidelity." Um, so, like, I think it's cool, a cool process. Like if you should go on Tyshaun's site and look at this, but it's like $100 for the sketch session. So once you do that, one, how many sketches are people generally getting, and two, how many of them are moving on to like the bigger, the fuller, expanded piece?
So I'm still figuring that part out. So this is something like literally just started doing. Um, right now it's going good. So I'm 3 for 3 right now on it. So, like it's one of those things where it's like I'm just trying it. I don't know if it's gonna be the way I go forward. Uh I don't even know if it's gonna become one of those things where it just becomes impossible to keep doing it. It's just one of those things where it's like I know there's something different that I can do and I'm just willing to figure it out and find it. And but the beauty of the process, it gets people's gears going because now, they're looking at their logo, and then I'm able to easily just walk them into their core system. I'm able to walk them into the vehicle wrap because now they see how their logo could look in the real world in a sense. And nothing's final, so you only get the first set of sketches, and then from there, it goes to a 30-minute discovery call. And then that's when we go into the next phase of everything that needs to be talked about. And then just tightening up. They're telling me, hey, I don't like this. This is what I do like. Let's find a way to bring these two ideas together. So for me, like I said, it's just me finding a way to bypass the process that I hate, using my skill and just finding a different way to bring it to life.
Yeah, which I think is cool because it's just because some designers use mood boards doesn't mean that's the only way to get to
Mhm.
a brand solution. So I first of all, I love that you're experimenting, and two, I mean, like I said, the sketches they're pretty sick, and I only wish that I could sketch that well.
Dude, it's literally just been like a long, long process of just drawing as a kid and then realizing that like I can bring this thing over and be able to do more with it. And I loved mascots. After a while, I was just like, everyone's not gonna want a mascot. Like I gotta find another way. I love it because it's the thing that I think will get me to the level that I wanna be at, but it's like what about the ones in between? And I don't want everything to be mascot driven. I do want to be able to show off different styles and different skills.
You've done a bunch of mascot work. Did you draw the bear for Arctic Paul and like do all of that design work on that wrap?
Yeah, I did everything on that wrap. So everything was done. Yep. Design, vehicle wrap, everything.
That's cool. That's cool. Which brings us to this wrap discussion. So tell me about casket wraps because we briefly touched on it before we hit record, but it's I never heard of it before, and I'm really fascinated by the idea.
So it happened. It was really sporadic how it happened. So back in Connecticut, I used to own a wrap shop. I had a wrap shop for 3 years before I closed and decided I wanted to kind of just pursue life somewhere else. So I had a funeral director walk in one day and literally he was coming in for something about his Range Rover. And I think I just stopped and started having a conversation with him about casket wrap. And we never had a conversation about his Range Rover. It just became all about casket wrap. So I ended up getting a meeting with the owner. And the funeral home was literally walking distance from me. I was able to get a meeting with the owner, and then from there, we wrapped the casket that they keep on display, and my casket wrap journey began just like that. Like, it literally just happened. It was no like, I had to create a system for it as I went along. I didn't know what to do, where to start, or even how to wrap caskets. I just knew that I couldn't be late. It's an expedited service, and I had to figure it out. So it's fun. It's very time consuming, but it's fun.
And are was it like you had one particular style and model, and like that's the only model you would wrap, or were you like wrapping all different shape styles?
So we only do a metal casket. I've done like a traditional metal casket, and then I've done an oversized casket. They do have some caskets that come in different sizes, or like the top will be different, but for the most part, they're the same.
Yeah. And what are people getting on the casket? Is it like photos of the person that's passed? Is it things that they liked? Like what type of stuff and like what style are they going for?
So it's a mix, and the thing that I love the most is I really get pushback from it, right? So a family will let me know what their loved one was into, the colors that they want to go for, and the things that they liked, and just give me free reign to create. I've been able to kind of freestyle and do what I love to do and just design. So it was never I've never had like, anything. I've done I've done Spider-Man, I've done Coco Melon on a casket, I had a guitar player. We were able to kind of like create like a guitar look for his casket with music notes. I had a lady who was a model who loved pink. I was able to do a casket for her. I had another lady who loved like rhinestones and diamonds. I was actually able to do like a black casket with like diamonds, and we were able to do rhinestones on the side. So like there's so many different things, and it's all about how someone wants to see their loved one in the end. Like, I've done Boston Red Sox for a guy who's a huge Red Sox fan. I've seen way too many Cowboys caskets. Like, so, like it's been like pretty much based on the person's personality. I get to create something that makes that last moment and be able to commemorate their life. And it's been fun. It's not something I promote. It's one of those things, like, if the call comes, I'll take it. I like it. I enjoy being able to design something that makes people see, especially that time, feel good.
Yeah. Yeah. And the so it's less of like precious memories slideshow of someone's loved one and more of like just a sick design on the
Yeah.
case.
It's a combination
That's
of
cool.
both. I think everyone just goes out, they pull all the stops out, because casket wrap isn't something that, everyone can do as well, it is a costly process. So and then it's an expedited process, so it has to make sense. So,
Yeah. And do you still have the wrap shop? Do you have like a new wrap shop down in Texas or no?
so right now I am a part of, Popular Stranger Exotics, which is getting ready to open up this month. And we'll be doing all those things. So I have my brother who does exotic car rentals, and I'm like, hey, might as well just add a rap portion to it. I can install. My goal is to get away from installing. I just want to design. I just want to design. I'm tired of doing. I burnt out because I learned how to rap, and then I was a designer, so I don't want to do it again. Like I don't like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I've watched the rap like time lapses of raps and my goodness, it's involved.
And it takes a lot. It's a lot of time, and you never really get to enjoy I never get to enjoy the process of either one because I'm always either one or the other, or I'm moving from one to the next one. So I want to be able to enjoy the process.
Yeah. Have you ever experienced a rap where I'm sure you've seen it, where, like, the sliding door opens and instead of saying Starbucks, it says sucks or, like, some unfortunate event like that?
I've only seen those on the internet. I have not run across that yet. I've only seen that on the internet. Yeah, those are pretty funny. I've seen some cool
Yeah,
ones. I forget them, but when I see it, they're hilarious.
yeah, that's cool, and then yeah, like, what is it like, you got 3 kids, and what is it that, like, you wanna pass down to them through, the choices that you've made with your career?
Um, don't be scared to fail. Put yourself out there. And, just really just go for it, just go for it, don't, like I mean, you don't know unless you try, so it's one of those things where I'm just always letting them know. His daughter does hair, and it's just one of those things where it's like, "Hey, you gotta figure it out, this is something that you wanna do, you've gotta put the work in. You've gotta go out there and meet some people and rub shoulders with people. And the cool part is I'm also doing it myself. So it's not like I'm saying something to my children that, I'm not doing myself. So, that's the other beauty of, just being dad, right?
Yeah, yeah, and you have the age range now, like one's out of the house, one's earlier on in their life. What how do you balance being dad to a adult and dad to a little kid? And what are the differences and challenges there?
Um, so my 18-year-old knows it all. So she's at that phase, right, where she knows everything. But knows nothing, and that's cool, right? Because we were all there, right? We were all once 18 and wanted to have it all figured out. And then my 5-year-old is I never thought I'd have a boy, so, like, just watching him and seeing the dynamic and, seeing the things that, like, I didn't get growing up, and then just watching it in a boy is just like, "Oh, this is cool," like, wow, this is dope, It's like having an outer body experience, really, like I was like that. Like I'll call my mom and I'm like, "Mom, was I like this when I was this age?" So, that is cool. Like I love it. So on one hand, it's like I'm getting to enjoy seeing like almost like seeing myself in him. And then, I got the 18-year-old who's just like I got it all figured out. Mind you, she's still home, so it's like, "What do you have figured out? Let's take our time, let's figure it out together, you don't have to do it on your own," so it's cool. I like it.
Yeah. Did you foster creativity in her life? I mean, doing hair now, like, it's a creative outlet. And like, are you fostering trying to foster creativity in your son? I mean, you have a kid in between too, but like, what do you do in the home to like, do you try to foster that, or do you just like show them by example because you're doing it, all the time?
Um, so my oldest daughter has always had her own way of creativity. Um, I think hair is like her thing. I have a 14-year-old, my daughter Nyla, who really is into arts and does all the Procreate on her iPad. So, that's cool to watch. She'll come to me, "Hey, dad, you like what I've done?" She's got some art on her walls in her room. So that's pretty cool to watch. And then my 5-year-old just wants to scribble. So there'll be days where he'll just come to my computer and my desk and just sit with me, and I'll pull out the Wacom and he'll just like go ham on it for a little bit. So it's like, all right, dude, I gotta get to work now. So you gotta go. So it's cool to see everyone have their own version of creativity at their stage in their lives right now.
Yeah. Did you did you do art in any formal capacity growing up, or was it mainly just you were always drawing?
Uh Always just comic book drawing, never anything crazy. I was a huge Marvel fan growing up as a kid, just always comic book sketching, always drawing my favorite characters, making my own characters. So yeah, that's it. I've never done like I strayed away from it and went back to it later on in life when I decided to go to school for graphic design, but that was it.
Yeah. That's cool. And was there anyone in your life that like influenced your passion for drawing, or did it just kind of come naturally?
So I have a late cousin who recently passed, who when I wanted to become a graphic designer, showed me a lot of what steps to take and what direction to go in. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool because at the time he worked at Lego, so just being able to go meet him at a Barnes and Noble and sit down and watch him create Lego boxes and just be able to just learn from him was pretty cool. So like I'll always remember that.
That's cool. Dude, to work at Lego would be a dream job. I saw one come up maybe a month or two ago.
Mhm.
Um, and it was in where are they based out of? Sweden? Somewhere in Europe. Um, but I was like, "Oh, this would be a dream job," but I'm not about to move to Europe.
Yeah, they went overseas for on him. That's what happened. Why he didn't end up staying there for too long. But when he was there, it was cool. It was cool to see the stuff that he worked on. They gave him his own laptop. It was actually pretty cool.
That's cool. Very cool. Well, yeah, I love, just learning about all different, uh, paths to people's design careers and how it intersects with the kids. Curious, 2 more questions before we, uh, log off. The first is, as a dad, what has been your greatest joy?
Wow. My greatest joy, honestly, I think is just have being the privilege of being a dad. I think that's probably there's so much, like, there's so much that comes with it, like, it's so cool, like, I think I just say the privilege, because I enjoy every aspect, rather it's the ones that make me have to reflect on life and figure things out, and even the fun moments, like, I think it's just the overall privilege.
Cool. Yeah, and then on the flip side of that, what has been your biggest learning as a dad?
Patience. I've learned a lot of patience through being a dad. I've learned a lot of patience. There's some things that like I've gotten to this level of just being unbothered by certain things. I think it came from being a dad.
Yeah. I feel like early in my career, when I was, a young designer before I had kids, like clients would ask for things or, coworkers would ask for things and I'd be like so frustrated, like, why do they? But after having kids, I feel
Yep.
like the client asks are like, oh yeah, that's that's no big deal.
hmm Even revisions. I think even revisions have gotten easier being a parent.
Yeah, yeah. Because nothing's ever clean, nothing's ever done.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, that's cool. If folks wanted to follow you online or find any other of your work, where can they go to do that?
So it's gonna be Instagram. Sean Tyshaun.Taylor or TylerDesignGuy.com or Tyshaun Taylor on Threads. That'll also be another place I'll be. That's gonna be my new home I actually like threads. I'm, like, really starting to enjoy threads.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. It hasn't gotten ruined yet. Um, we'll just give it some time, but, yeah, I appreciate you coming on, and thanks for sharing about
Right.
your work and your family.
Nah, appreciate you. Thank you for having me.